What what's up, YouTube? So, all right, we're going to talk about the elephant in the room here. Pentax Digital Camera Utility 5. Yes, the software that comes with the Pentax cameras. Why I don't like it, what it does to the images that you're trying to get the most out of, and why I think you should just use other pieces of software. So I'm going to compare Digital Camera Utility 5 to DxO Photolab 5, as well as another completely free software. There is quite a difference, which for me anyway is pretty shocking, seeing as Pentax image quality is very, very good, but then they're using software that degrades that image quality. It doesn't make any sense to me. And the user interface is, ugh. I mean, we're in 2022, and this user interface dates back to about Windows 95. For those who remember Windows 95. Yeah, so let's just get right on the screen and show you what I mean. So one advantage that DCU5 does actually have is, if you look over on this side here, all the shooting information. So every single setting that was on the camera is actually embedded into the software. So if you want to go through and look at color fringe correction, if it was on or off, diffraction correction, chromatic aberration correction, distortion correction, every single element is actually listed in here. So that is actually a positive thing. That's very, very well done. As for the interface, I mean, the icons are pretty old looking, and they're nothing, 2022 style, so to speak. And this is the latest update to DCU5. Now, what I don't like is, by default, from what I can see, it is very heavy-handed in regards to the noise reduction. Just look how smeared this looks. This is almost coming across as almost like oil painting versus, let's just take a look at this free software here, Chasey's Draw. Yeah, there is a bit, there's some color blotching here. This is an unprocessed raw, but there is also more detail as well, especially along here, right? So looking along the sides here, just where the wing tips, or there's the wing shoulders are, versus DCU5. There's no detail. It's completely smeared. So I would rather start with an image like this and then work out the noise reduction if I really felt it was necessary. So now let's take a look at the comparison of DCU5 versus DxO. So again, the heavy-handed noise reduction, I just don't like what DCU5 does to the images. And I mean, you can turn it off. You can go through, but as soon as you do random noise reduction, this is almost like the fake HDR sharp. It's just way too sharp. So let's change that. We'll take this one off. This looks a little better, but there's still, along here, it still looks odd. Turn off spurious color signal reduction. Looks a tad better, but still it still doesn't quite look right. Let's turn off everything, and now, this is super pixelated, right? So that's what I mean. DCU5 does have advantages, but when it comes to just working on an image without the extra bells and whistles, such as pixel shift resolution, and the other element of the custom images. Oh, what just happened here? Oh, I didn't know you could do that. Interesting. All right, there we go. Yeah, so you do have all the custom image settings in here as well. So that is another plus. Other than that, just working on the images themselves, I am not a fan at all of DCU5. If I turn off the fine sharpness, which Pentax had said they did a much better job with, but let's look at the difference here. So this is with just regular sharpness. Let's compare that with DxO. See, just around the eye, DxO looks cleaner. It looks more natural. It's round, right? And then we look at DCU5, it's dotted everywhere. You know, it just doesn't quite look right. And then if we turn on fine sharpness, it's overly done. Like just way, way, way too much. I haven't even turned the sharpness up. Sharpness is still dead center, right? So, yeah, I don't know. You know, just for me, DCU5 just doesn't really cut it. You know, I really wish Pentax would, you know, I guess update the software or work with Silky Pix in a fashion that really brings the absolute utmost in image quality to the actual images you're capturing with the Pentax camera, because the cameras are far above and beyond the capabilities of what the actual software is doing. And I think that this is really doing a disservice to the Pentax cameras themselves when you are shooting. So that's my note to Pentax, that you guys really should look at, I don't know, finding another company. Maybe it's a cultural thing. I mean, maybe this whole thing, you know, in Japan, maybe they primarily shoot in JPEG. I don't know. I'm not in Japan. I'm not part of the Japanese culture in regards to shooting. That could be a reason. You know, have heavily focused on the Japanese market. That is possible. But just to show you guys the comparison of the image editing, you know, DCU5 just really not quite there, at least not for me. And that's pretty much it for this.